house. Yeah. You're our wonderful pastor, Pastor McDuffie, our first lady here, and everyone who has come to partake in this Mother's Day celebration here at St. John's Baptist Church today. For those that don't know me, my name is Perry Robinson. I'm in front of you today by the grace of God. The love and wisdom that I received from every special woman in my life. My mother, Cora Lee Robinson. My mother is 95 years young today.
Happy birthday, Big Mama.
Happy birthday. So, happy birthday, Mom. She's in Joliet, Illinois. Happy birthday. Again, I am honored to have been chosen to give this tribute to all mothers here today. Don't worry, Grandma, Great-Grandma, Big Mama, Nana, and Mommy, you can stay. So, who is mother? Well, Webster defines mother as a woman in a relationship to a child or children whom she has given birth. Okay, that sounds simple. Also, Webster says as a verb, mother is to bring up a child with care and affection. And I feel that's too simple. The word mother brings many different thoughts and images to the mind of every individual on this planet. Some of these are well thought of, and they are fond thoughts and memories, some of which I call mommyisms. Every mom has a favorite quote or special tone to scold or teach lessons to their children. We might not like these mommyisms as a child, but we so miss them when we grow up. These harsh-sounding yet so sweet advices from mothers is what makes our childhood so special. These motherly sayings go a long way in building us and making us a better person. Though we don't understand them. Ironically, we use the same ones today. Here's a few of them. Money does not grow on trees. Always change your underwear. You will never know when you have an accident. What if everyone jumped off a cliff? Would you do it too? Don't put that in your mouth. You don't know where it's been. Don't eat those. It will stunt your growth. If you don't eat those, it will stunt your growth. What is meant to be is meant to be. I hope when you grow up, you have kids just like you. Because I'm your mother, that's why. Because I said so, it's on this list. If I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. But the best one that I like is this one. I brought you into this world. Yes, our mothers don't remind these one-liners I've mentioned. But being a mother is a very important role that God has given to these women to endure. God decided that Eve will be the first living mother. Genesis 3, verse 20 says, Adam named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all the living. So today's mothers have a great responsibility to do what God has required of them. For Titus 2, verse 4 and 5 says, Then they can train the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home, to be kind, and to be subject to their husbands so that no one will malign the word of God. This scripture tells us that you must train our children to do what's right in order to please God and follow His word. Additionally, you are to honor and love our husbands in marriage. In book 1 of Samuel, Hannah and Peninnah Peninnah had children, but Hannah could not. Hannah prayed to God to have a child. Because God answered her prayer and gave her a son named Samuel, she gave him back to the Lord. And God was able to use him for His purpose and His will. As Christian mothers here, you should be giving your children back to God for His use because they are gifts to us. Psalm 127 verse 3 says, Sons are a heritage from the Lord, children a reward from Him. You must also teach your children about God. This world is evil, and sin is always around. There are so many negative influences that could lead our children astray. But if you teach our children about God's words, even if they go astray, they will eventually come back to God for the truth. For Ephesians 6, verse 4 says, fathers and mothers, do not exasperate your children. Bring them up in training and instruction of the Lord. By following this scripture, our children will never be lost. Discipline is also a big part of being a mother. Even though this subject is hard to discuss, it is very important in raising our children. By disciplining our children, you fear that they will fear us or hate us, but they should be taught to fear the Lord. Just as you are being punished by God when you do wrong, our children must learn that being punished when they do wrong is more of a learning experience for them to do right. Proverbs 13, verse 24 says, he who spares a rod hates his son, but he who loves him is careful to discipline. Even though spanking has become a controversial issue, if it's done out of love and instruction, God allows for it to be done as a tool for discipline. Proverbs 29, verse 15 through 17 also says, the rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. When the wicked thrive, so does sin, but the righteous will see their downfall. Discipline your son, and he will give you peace. He will bring you delight to your soul. Nurturing our children will also provide support, acceptance, and unconditional love. You are to be kind, compassionate, and forgiving, just as Christ is to us. Ephesians 4, verse 32, and Ephesians 4, verse 29 also says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that may benefit those who listen. When we talk to our children about their lives or something they have done wrong, be careful about the words that you choose. Using hurtful or demeaning words can hurt our children deeply and possibly scar their lives. Most hurtful words are said out of anger, and Satan uses these times to work through you to affect our children. But if you think about every word that you say to your children before you say them, then it will be more of a benefit rather than a hurt. And they will feel accepted by you rather than searching acceptance from the outside world. The Bible gives us clear commands about being a mother, from teaching, training, discipline, and discipline. We also should be role models, because our children model what you do more than what you say. You have to be Christ-like in order to teach our children to be like Christ. Deuteronomy 6, verse 5 through 9 says, love the Lord your God with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be upon your hearts. Impress them upon your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gate. If the Lord has blessed you today to be a mother, you should take this role seriously. And if you are careful to do this to your children, teenagers, and early adults, then you will raise a productive, loving, God-fearing child like me.